Self-sabotage is not what you think it is. Hey guys, it's Andy with Mindset Matters and More, and I have not been posting because we've been going through a little bit of family stuff, but I'm back, and today we're going to talk about self-sabotage and how it's not a bad thing, or at least when we reframe it, it's not a bad thing. So I recently read this book called The Big Leap. And in this book, it talks about how oftentimes when we are reaching for more, we start to get a little bit of success and things start coming up. You know, our subconscious tries to keep us in check, keep us at a level that we know that we're comfortable with, that we feel safe, and it's not necessarily a bad thing in certain situations, but, you know, when you're trying to elevate, when you're trying to progress and get to, more success or whatever it is that you're trying to acquire in your life, it can be a real pain in the ass, right? You don't want this thing to keep you where you're comfortable. You want to stretch and come out of your comfort zone so that you can expand. And the same thing happens when, in the opposite direction, when you're getting too complacent and you're falling behind and maybe bills are piling up. You get this like fire lit underneath you where you're like, man, I gotta go, I gotta move, I gotta shake, I gotta do all this stuff so that I can make more money. Or, you get to a point where you become uncomfortable in the opposite direction too. So it's not just when you become successful, you become uncomfortable, but also when you're like losing out or when you're regressing, that you also become uncomfortable. And what I want to talk about today is when you become more successful and you do certain habits that would keep you from progressing. And yes, we call it self-sabotage, but I want to reframe it. I want to talk about really what's happening. And what it is your subconscious is trying to protect you. Your subconscious is saying, hey, this is unfamiliar. We need to just do what we do because it'll protect us from failure. It'll protect us from embarrassment. It'll protect us from the unknown. It'll protect us from people talking about us. It'll protect us from being seen. It'll protect us from not being seen. And there are many ways in which your subconscious is like, hey, we don't know what this unknown is. Let's just stay right here. And so you regress and you do behaviors that you know will cut you off and will keep you where you're at. And you don't do this consciously. Like, one of the things that I read about in the book that sort of hit home with me was like, when things are going really well in your marriage, then all of a sudden, he didn't do the dishes again, let's pick a fight, or something equally as stupid. Like, you can have an amazing marriage, and then all of a sudden, the one thing just sets it off, and now you're like fighting. And it's because you feel like, well, there's just too much happiness. Like, I can't just let this slide. Like, I have to pick a fight because we got to stay in check, like all couples fight. And there could be some truth to it. Like, yeah, maybe he hasn't washed the freaking dishes. And like, yeah, okay, he said he would and might. But enough to blow up over it? Probably not. And this is like an extreme example, right? Like, it could be even on a smaller scale. The point is that when things get a little bit too good, that's when you get busy. That's when you like, you know what my favorite one is, when I was coaching people through fitness and nutrition, is that they would have 2 amazing weeks and like knock it out of the park. And then life got busy. They had a birthday party. They couldn't keep track because this happened. Their scale broke. That this broke. That happened. And life is just going to life at you, right? When really, if they still would have meal prepped, they still would have had their meals and they wouldn't have had to worry about it, right? Yeah, they could go to a party. But then all the excuses start coming out and all the things, like all the reasons why they can't follow through and all the reasons why they couldn't keep to the plan and all the reasons why they start unearthing all of this stuff because you become too successful, because you didn't think about, hey, you know what? It's not just about the habit. It's about the mindset too. And I always tell my clients, like around week 2, hey, this is when shit's going to hit the fan. All right, let's think about what's going to happen. What can get in our way? Because really, we want to feel comfortable. It doesn't feel good to be uncomfortable. If not, it would be comfortable. But you got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable so that you can expand and then you can progress to whatever it is that you're trying to get. And so this isn't a call to witness your self-sabotaging and beat yourself up about it and say, oh, you do this is bad, you shouldn't be doing that, don't do it. You just have to hammer it in that like you got to do the right thing all the time, 100% be perfect. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is take notice that, hey, when you reach an upper limit, notice that that inner critic, that inner voice is going to start to come in and say, hey, we can't do this. Hey, this is not right. Hey, this is uncomfortable. Hey, we need to do this other thing that's going to like make us regress. And instead of being mad and trying to power your way through it, instead of saying, no, I'm not going to listen to you. I mean, that voice in your head has had decades of practice. So you're not going to overpower it. You're not going to overwhelm it. What you do instead is when you hit that upper limit, when you hit that point, and you're thinking to yourself, oh my God, like I can't do this. Like, oh, I'm too hungry. Oh, like I got to spend money. Oh, my husband didn't do the dishes. Notice it and say, oh, okay, we're at an upper limit right now. Oh, I think that something is happening to try to ruin my happiness. I think something is really working its way into my brain so that I'm not successful. Hi there. Thank you for coming out to play. And I know that we've been operating at this level, but I want more. I want to feel uncomfortable for a little bit. And that's okay. We're safe. We're okay. Thank you for helping me. But it's time we expand. And when you show up with love and compassion to yourself rather than trying to bully your way through that, you're going to find that you can expand, even if it's just 1%. Even if it's just refraining from talking about the dishes for one more day. Even if it's just, hey, you know what? I didn't eat the whole cake. I just had a small piece. Even if it's, hey, you know what? I didn't buy the $1,000 purse. You know what? I actually just bought a $200 wallet. Whatever the case is that we're not asking for perfection. At this stage, we're still thinking, hey, you know what? This is happening. My brain is trying to keep me from reaching my goal. Thank you, brain. Thank you for trying to keep me safe. But I want to expand now. And I'm going to do that. So let's realize that I can do more. Let's realize that I am safe. And let's do that. Show up with compassion. Love yourself into your success. Love yourself into being the person that you want to be rather than a bully and then regretting everything that you're doing. All right, guys, that's it for me. Love you guys. Bye.